my soul began to dream differently. The night can only break you if you forget that dawn will come. There came a point in my healing when words were no longer enough. My heart had begun to love again, not only another person, but myself through the eyes of God. Yet my spirit still carried echoes of pain that no conversation, no prayer, and no embrace had fully reached. That is when the dreams returned, not as punishment, as messages. They became a bridge between the woman I was and the woman I was becoming. I did not understand it at first, but love, divine and human, was already moving through those dreams. They reminded me that true strength is not pretending you are healed. True strength is walking back into the places that once broke you while carrying grace. And that is when my soul began to dream differently. The dreams that remembered. There was a time when I feared falling asleep. Night was not peaceful for me. It was a place where the past came alive. When the world grew quiet and my body tried to rest, memories would rise without warning, relentless, whispering the sounds I once prayed to forget. The faint creak of a door, the heaviness of footsteps, the feeling of being watched. Long after the harm ended, my body still remembered. My mind tried to move on, but my dreams refused to let me pretend. They brought to the surface what I had buried, the fear, the silence, the parts of me that learned to disappear. At first, I believed those dreams were a curse. I would wake up shaken, sometimes in tears, sometimes feeling as though I had been pulled back into a life I fought so hard to leave. I wanted to be free, even in sleep. But over time, I began to understand something that changed the way I saw everything. My dreams were not punishing me. They were speaking to me. They were showing me what my waking self could not yet hold. They were telling the truth when my mouth still struggled to form the words. They became mirrors reflecting where I was in my healing. Some dreams replayed fear. Some revealed rage. And later, new dreams began to appear. Symbolic, strange, and somehow sacred. They were no longer only about what happened. They were about what was trying to be released. The night, once my enemy, became my teacher. And my dreams became the language of my healing, the dreams of fear and the child within. For a long time, I did not simply remember the past. I relived it in my sleep. I would wake with my heart racing and my body braced, as if the danger was still near. In those nights, I felt small again, trapped inside a story I could not rewrite. Sometimes the fear did not belong only to me. It reached into my motherhood, into the instinct that wanted to protect my children from every shadow I had known. My body could not always tell the difference between then and now. It remained ready to protect. These were trauma dreams, reminders of what my nervous system had survived. Yet even then, God was near. Every tear I cried in the dark was a prayer my mouth could not form. And somehow I made it to morning. Again and again, the dreams of rage and reclaiming. Eventually, the dreams began to change. In those dreams, I was not the frightened child anymore. I had a voice. I had strength. I carried a presence that did not shrink. Sometimes I woke trembling, unsure what to feel. Shame, relief, power, confusion. But with time, I understood. Those dreams were not about revenge. They were about reclamation. They were proof that something inside me had refused to remain powerless. My spirit was rewriting the story, standing up for the younger version of me who never had the words, never had the safety, and never had the chance to defend herself. In those dreams, I was no longer frozen. I was moving. I was choosing. I was reclaiming my dignity. These were transformation dreams. They reminded me that I was no longer helpless. They reminded me that I was still here. The dreams of fire and release. Then came dreams filled with fire, dreams where everything familiar burned away, not to destroy me, but to clear what could no longer hold my life. At first, I woke disturbed, wondering what kind of heart could dream such darkness. But as I sat quietly with those dreams, I understood. Some parts of healing feel like fire, not because you want destruction, because you need release. You cannot rebuild while clinging to ruins. You cannot step into peace while carrying beliefs that kept you silent. The fire in my dreams was not a threat. It was a clearing. It was my soul whispering, let it go. Let the fear burn away. Let the shame burn away. Let the false stories burn away. So that what is real can remain, waking to the light. For a long time, I believed healing meant forgetting. I thought moving forward required erasing the memories, silencing the fear, and pretending I no longer cared. But healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering without being broken by it. My dreams showed me what my waking self could not face all at once. They carried me through fear, through rage, through release, through the deeper work of returning to myself. And when morning came, I realized something sacred. I was still here. Each sunrise became proof that the night did not win. Each breath reminded me that my story did not end in darkness. I no longer see my dreams as something to fear. I see them as sacred conversations between my soul and God, messages that rise when words fail. They remind me that healing is not a single moment. It is a journey of returning to yourself again and again until peace finally feels like home. Love helped me find that peace. Through faith, I learned that God's love does not erase the past. It transforms it. Through human love, I learned that being seen and cherished can also be a form of prayer. If you are listening to this and carrying your own night inside you, I want you to know something. You are not your nightmares. You are not the pain that was done to you. You are the one who woke up, and waking up again and again is one of the bravest things a survivor can do.